I'm in the land of the lost, no Tim Jack Frost. I'm a cautious like Constantine, a hot sauce, jack skeleton limbs, cause I'm known to pop off. And I'm one with the force, so the same is my sword. The dick tucked in like RuPaul. 2 bananas on a boat in a U-Haul. And the dope looks sick like Wuhan. Another brick coming in from Tucson. I was too pissed off when a nigga walked in. I was serving up bricks at a low end. I got too much boost stuffed in my pants. I could probably fuck around, but it's no man. And the stone don't miss hit you when your bitches for him and her like Roseanne. This shit go down and a nigga get wet. Should've known like them whole hands. If you want beef, cook beef, smoking on tree. Her she said no, don't leave, baby I'm old. So great, I drink sticks, I have a blitz. Blood on my back, I'm caught in the blitz. Trying sticks, got me a pick. Stepping on shit, put my foot in the brick. Kick a bitch to the curb, but she don't. What's up, Chris? My house sit alone behind gates by the man, and my nose look wider than garbage. Ain't down in my bitch from the hood, mama's house sit on. Yeah. School from the 70s, could have been Joe. I think it's good enough. The powder. Welcome back. My tattoos are gone. That's insane. It looks like I have no nose rings except for my septum. And no face tat. I feel like I'd look so different. I don't like it at all. The way it's easier to put the eyebrow makeup on. Hi, baby. You came too? Who? Nobody else said they came. Only you did. Ours looks good. I'm fucking with it. Oh, I forgot to. Whoops. Somewhere in the middle, 6 feet under is his level. I am considered the rebel, cause I never settle out. Cause I'm hot like a kettle, yo, bitches is rental. Good enough. Thank you, sweetheart. My lips look non-existent. Exactly, trust the process. My makeup is the equivalent of trust the process, because it always ends up looking bomb as fuck, but to get there, I do funny things. That's the funny thing with doing it on here. Ashley, that's cute. You're cute. I appreciate your cute ass. I always forget about this end. You're trying to keep that number 1 spot, even though no one else is talking. I'll still give you hearts, though. Is that how they're doing it? Oh, no, they're doing it like this, huh? I got you. It was a server.
get a DM. It was a server, sir. Sir, you're the ones getting DMs, not from me. What's up, Open Eyes? Right. You're gonna go swimming with family? That's dope. Okay. It's facts. It was a server I'm in. You want me to show you? Would you like for me to show you? You would really like these fucking people. Wait, you know what? How dare I offer to show you? You know what? I take that back. It was my mom, Eric. He is funny. A little crazy, but he's funny too. Why is this eyebrow so pointy? Yeah, it wasn't my mom. You're right, it was a server. Not my server, someone else's. Which just sucks because I thought I had them all muted anyways, but I didn't. Given I just joined it not that long ago, so. It definitely wasn't my mom, you're right. Yapping on the line. I will never run from the law. There's a gun. Right there, just a little above. I've been shooting on drugs. Stop. Stop. I told you I'd show you. You're just being a butt. I don't even know which server it was. I can find it. I can't answer that. I'm gonna go through every server I'm in and try to find it so I can prove it, Eric. Because I'm determined. How dare you? You're not gonna call me out live like that. Oh god, I hit donuts like 3 times and it keeps trying to throw me into his voice chat. Ew. Hey, that's crazy, Eric. That's shit you say. Oh, they were in the Discord. That's why they got that from that. You're right, I did call you out. Yeah, but I was kidding. Eric, you said that in the Discord about people. As a joke. How insane. I've never heard anyone else say that in my life. And now someone's coming in here saying it when we kicked the people from the Discord. Because those people were in the Discord. Eric, you don't remember saying that people in the Discord looked like your left nut and shit. And I had said something about ball sack. Oh my god, Eric. It was about X and someone else, I think. Sorry, I'm not frustrated with you or anything. It's me, like, oh my god. Like, Eric, you just did that. I realized how I said it doesn't sound the best. Yeah, so they got that from the Discord. Because you said that, and we had that whole conversation. That's crazy. Crazy you're gonna use our own disses. fucked up living with some bad kids. If your boss act looks like that, that's crazy. Does your boss have eyes for real? Real talk. Actually, I don't want to know. You'll just come in on another account. Your balls are contoured to hell and back, dog. That's crazy. Okay, I'm starting to feel weird just talking about this guy's testicles. I'm done. Did you almost just call me Papa? Hang on. Hang on. Eric, watch these fuckers. Christina, help him. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Drink with me, fucked up liver with some bad kidneys. Lean with me, pop with me, get high with me if you rock with me. Smoke with me, drink with me, fucked up liver with some bad kidneys. Eyes red, no rising, crash the Mustang, no saline. Yeah, I love peace, yeah, I love lean. I laugh when they ask if my piss clean. Smoke with me, pop with me. Gucci store, come and shop with me. If I overdose, bear, you gon' drop with me. I don't even wanna think about it right now. Let's get too high, reach a new high. Take the shrooms and the pills at the same time. Went to Hollywood thrills from the street life. Took too many drugs, now I don't feel right. Lean with me, pop with me, get high with me if you rock with me. Smoke with me, drink with me. Fucked up liver with some bad kidneys. Lean with me, pop with me, get high with me if you rock with me. Smoke with me, drink with me. Fucked up liver with some bad kidneys.
That's funny. She didn't mean it though. She's just a cat. She don't know. She didn't know what you said.
Nowadays, I'm too cool for a girlfriend. Nowadays, I don't know when the world spins. Live your life like we die when the world
Oh, I left your vape in here. I didn't even.
Nowadays, shit's not the same. Life switch lanes, now these hoes act strange.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I'm alive. So, on the east side. The notification bell, humans or bots, whatever you are. Just subscribe. God, no, I'm still trying to find that server because his ass. Put your donation in the box with the cat. You're so cute. I'm stealing you, Eric.
I think that I'm stuck in beast mode. Make it through the foul, run to the line and make the free throw. I think that I'm D-Rose, do 'em like I'm D-Rose.
I'm stealing ya. It does look extra blonde, doesn't it? Oh, that's just my hair. That actually is very blonde over here. Holy hell. I thought that was makeup for a second. No, that's just my hair where it was bleached and it's like faded already. You're going to the bathroom? Do you understand? Unfortunately, I think I do. How do you steal something when you have it?
Everybody call it. I need a manager cause I can't really fuck with nobody.
It's a good question. I didn't think it through. I'm gonna steal you from myself. I think I could do it. I could take me. Anyways, I don't steal, I take stuff. Forcefully grab you? Can you not? Only Eric can kidnap me? Thank you. I don't know where that came from. I'm gonna grab Eric. Okay, you're not grabbing Eric either. You mean me grab Eric? I'll grab Eric. Nobody else is grabbing Eric. Nobody's grabbing me. Me and Eric are gonna grab each other. That's what we're gonna do. I don't think any of these vapes are my vape. They're not. Found it. You didn't elaborate enough. You are. It was the devil emoji for me. I was like, we're gonna not. Horny Jill for me? Only if Eric can be there. Then I'm perfectly happy going. Let's go. I think that would maybe defeat the purpose, but it's fine. Wait, that would be jail. If, like, we couldn't be near each other, if we were in the same place. Oh, that would be ass. I'd be so mad. That would be horny jail. That's crazy. Now you guys are just trying to fuck with me. Damn it, I can't find my materials. I don't know what that means. Oh. Yeah, you guys know how it be. I hate it. I hate that this shit's no longer powder. Like, it just, I don't know exactly what's going on here. It used to be powder, now it's not. Now it's like this weird, like, I don't know what to call it. Stuff that should not be on eyebrows. Eric, you're cute and I love you. Just saying. Mount Everest, what about it? What about Mount Everest? Are you bumping the chat? I got my whole open face mask here. I lost them. Oh, I guess. Woo! You scared me. All right. Hang on. Okay, your girl's back. Ashley, what? By the way, I said I love you, and you just give me emojis. Fuck you too, then. I see you. Wait, maybe I just said you're cute. I don't know. I can't remember now. Go back and tell me. Somebody go back and tell me what I said. No, I'm curious. I need to know whether to be salty or not. So, let me know. But I can't say that now because I can't trust most people. Damn. This song.
They call me Young Dagger Dick, that's my handle, yeah. She got on my dick like a handle, hey. Little bitch, I got on Jesus sandals, hey. X is an animal mammal, hey. Little bitch got the back of a camel. Pussy boy, you look like a Randall, yeah. Pussy boy, you look like a Daniel. Bitch, I'm known to get those steady family. And if you don't do it,
Damn, and I was ignored again. Alright. Got you. Yeah, I knew it was an appointment reminder. He just texted me. This is all it is. Cool shit. Can you guys hear me okay?
Almost lost my motherfucking life. I ain't really gonna tell y'all how to get away. In my life, I fucked a couple witches. Think I'm a wizard, hot as desert critters. I'm cooking gizzard, make her like a lizard. Then how I lit her, cause she got them itty bitty titty John at the Camilla. Bitch, kitty be kidding me, trying to belittle me. Know that she feeling me, giggity, giggity. It be no biggity, diamonds move fidgety. Smoke me a cigarette, fuck all your bitches. I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle, I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle, coolest monkey in the Fuck that you had, you been fumbled. And tell the white supremacists to lick my big toe. I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle, wait. I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle. Fuck that you had, you been fumbled. And tell the white supremacists to lick my big toe. I used to live in the jungle. I got my thumb in her butthole. All of these bitches is hungry. You can't get food, you too hungry. Try to use me, bitch, you dumb. Big block with the drum. Off the top, going dumb. Big block, I want the slump. Sold out shotgun, call a little pump. We live in the swamp. Size 10 moves, don't get stumped. These bitches be killing me, swear they be feeling me. Hop on another D, giggity. I wanna feel on her tiggity, biggity. Bitch, we some ace and these niggas is centipede. Hey, find a little mother with dread. Hey, let me go bust your head with a break like Craig. To the white meat, nigga, I ain't talking red. Bitch, when it come out of weaponry, bitch, I got expertise, bitch, I ain't care. scene, save up my specialty. Fully out of bullets, not moving separately. I send them killers to come at you pleasantly. I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle. I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle. Coolest monkey in the so that you had you been focused. And to the white supremacist to lick my big toe. I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle. Wait, I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle. So that you had you been focused. And to the white supremacist to lick my big toe. Okay, like yo bitch gon' kiss me. Fly like a fairy, like my name on Decimo. Not necessary to call paramedics. My jury.
No, of course I remember you, Christina.
She said my nuts taste like honey, no Cheerio. Baby, no biggie though. Fuck European hoe. How does she greet you though? She be like Cheerio. What is that the fabric be when you look at this material? Hey yo, bitch, get me out, would describe it as remedial. Just got abducted by aliens that ate some cereal. Ooh, what you do next? Fuck on your auntie that put my thumb right on her hair, yo. Will never stop until my voice is on every stereo. Diamonds that's on me look nice, I guess it's nice material. Turn me up, way up. Yo, hey, bitch, hey, bitch. May I fight for my honor, your honor? Yes, I know you discriminating against me because that my complexion is darker. I just aggressively teach about a pole like a nigga named Coach Carter. Put a head like a glass of hot water. Got the gas on my hands like a fart.
Sorry.
Bring me in, let me in. Outside the club, drug knocking at my door, need to let me in.
You are for sure. There you go. It's only funny because the first part of your name says low 5, and I know it's low 5 version, but still. Yeah, make sure to hit that motherfucking mic. Oh, guys, Brian Koberger's about to be sentenced. So we gotta listen to that. It's for him killing those girls in Idaho and Ethan. It was 3 girls and a dude. What's up, butt plugs? Okay, come on. You can't just call us butt plugs, dude. We're ball ticklers over here. Yeah, but in Idaho. I lived there for a little bit. It's weird because the first person that they said did it, which they were wrong about, they just connected the arrest dates. Lived in the city I lived in there. So I was like, what the fuck? That shit was wicked. You gotta go, go, go. Fucking gun show. I'm spinning. Really bad for the apple fritters. I told her racist ass dad that she fucked her. Like a plate of chicken gizzards. Pockets was hurting. Freaky and nerdy. To you, her mouth gon' be hurting. Thank you. Sweet. Maybe 5 I have now. I can't breathe. Oh yeah, rest in peace, Ozzy, dude. That shit's fucking sad, bro. Me too. I watched his performance just a couple weeks ago. His last one. And I had said then he didn't look very good. Because he didn't. And here we go. I always make some comment like about someone before they die. It almost feels like a premonition. Once they die, you know? I need to find out where we can watch the sentencing. Oh girl, I never would. Oh, no. Now I don't like it. Hang on. Okay. That's better.
Brody said that these hoes nuts.
So what?
I'll show up. Codeine pull up. Nigga, you don't know this. You can get toe up. Get the whip. Yeah. Bitch. Shit. Drugs in my cup. Mix it up. Yeah.
Weird. Oh, hey, anyways, guys, what's good? How y'all doing today? Hi, baby. Ooh, I found the sentencing of him. We're gonna go ahead and start watching it. It begins at 10 a.m. So we're just gonna go ahead and start listening to it while we finish up here. Hang on. Okay, honey, give me a second and I'll come put your pillowcase back in the pillow. What's good? How are you today? Nobody's ever here in the morning, I feel like. I'm okay. I knew you could. I'm glad to have you. Thank you for being here, girl. I know Eric was here, but he probably passed out. We were on the phone for a while before the live.
Do you think I could play on
Just depends on how charged it is. We'll check. Oh. Yeah, it's at 84. That looks so cute, guys. Look. I love it. Careful. I'm so excited to listen to this sentencing, you guys. Dude. Where's that little needle that I had here? I had one for makeup that I just had sitting here. Probably missing with the rest of my shit, let's be honest. Okay. Wow, this one's dead too. What the fuck? Oh no, my cart's not dead. If I have a mod in chat, can they delete that princess comment, please? Because I specifically do not like to be called pet names by my YouTube chat. So little strange. I've probably passed out yet. I know I got Stephanie, but it's hard for her to do too because she's at work. Hopefully that worked. They're all just hugging outside the courtroom. My son singing that song is hilarious to me. Oh, it's Brian Koberger. So he pled guilty to killing Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana in Idaho. He broke into their house, their sorority house, killed them all four with a knife, left, fled the state. And yeah, so he pled guilty recently after pleading for his innocence this entire time, and he's being sentenced today. And sentencing starts here in just a few. God, I really need that fucking needle, bro. I don't know where it went. It's just like a little sewing needle I use for makeup. I guess I could use a toothpick. Hang on, let me go grab one. Same thing. What's up, Simon? Those were stale as fuck. Okay. Holy shit. Should have got a drink. Hi, Simon. It doesn't start till 10, so but I'm just listening still. It's just them arriving to court and whatnot. I'm gonna redo this side. I don't like how it turned out. Wow, that's hot. Good morning, Sticky. How are you? I'm gonna have to go back over this with makeup in a minute. Because that is black as fuck. Yo, what happened? Oh, it's not a black eye. It's just makeup. Don't worry. I just have to fix it. Cause I'm redoing my other, but yeah, no worries. Holy shit. All is well. Let's see if I have enough on here just to go over it. Anyways, I don't think I do. I was like, damn, let me get dressed. Thanks, Sticky. Good to know you'd have my back. If it was hazy, I don't know what he wants me to do. It's the cat. Honey, if she just hissed, I don't know if she's gonna meow. I'm just letting you know. Don't get your hopes up. Yeah, it was just makeup. Because I did my mascara over there, but it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, so I was redoing it. I've just been doing my makeup. And I'm gonna redo all this. I'm just gonna put a little bit because there's already still some there. Oh, what you been up to, Sticky? Have you tell them to take it easy on your butt? That even your ass needs a break sometimes too. Your literal butt. Seems like since Butt Tickler was in here, it scared everybody away. Or whatever his fucking name was. They're all like, nope. Oh, sorry, Ball Tickler. Yeah, Eric's new best friend. But does she talk or is it kind of ASMR? I mean, I am talking. I'm literally talking. I guess I am talking kind of low. But no, it's not ASMR. It's just... Yeah, I do talk. I really do. Or I'm listening to music, yeah. Or singing, sort of. That guy was fucking hilarious. I've never laughed so hard on a stream in my life. Oh, you're welcome. Waiting patiently for this sentencing to start. Oh, no, no. You see that dot I just put right there? I was just trying to make the ends a tad bit darker, and I fucked it up. Hold on, I have a brush. Hold on, maybe I can brush it out. Let's see. I fucked it up. Hang on. I don't know if this is gonna make it worse. Hold up, I think I can be clever sometimes. It's just kind of misshapen now. It's fine. I can fix it. I hope my lashes look good. Thank you. On this side. The other sides need some help, but we're working on it. We're getting there. You're silly. I think you're a little off there, doll. Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. A whole a whole private part off. Yeah, whole private part. Yeah, there you go. You're getting there. What's up, Chris? I love that they tried to say I love that they tried to say its daughter on another account, but failed and said it on their account. Way to give yourself away, bro. Right, Stephanie? They try. They just suck. They give themselves away. Like, it's a good thing they're not, like, doing legit crimes, because, like, they would suck. And we already know the people perpetuating it. We already know. That's the funny thing. Yeah, they'd be arrested within first day. Are you and somebody friends, or do you guys, like, know each other? We're friends. Her and her girlfriend both mod for me. Yeah. And we're all just friends. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We do. We terrorize. But it works. It's wonderful. I'm gonna go over this again in a second. Oh my god. Did I pause this? No. What time is it? Oh, 7 minutes. In the United States, it's also 10 for me. Now that nose contour looks nice. Smart. Cover it with... It's the shadows that count. Cover it with a little foundation. It works really good. Note to self. And this side don't matter. Like, it's in the light. It's like once the shadows hit and shit, like the contour pops, you know? So I fuck with. And it's the, with the light, it's the, like, shimmer or highlight. So you contour, highlight, do all those fun things. I like your little face. Oh, thanks. I like my face too. Same with Eric. You did. Go, Seth. Ooh, Eric's number 2. And then everyone else is like number 3. I don't know. I'm close to just saying that's good enough. It do be looking pretty. It's just the way the light hits the different sides of my face. It looks different. That's why I don't like it. It looks like this side's all darker than this side. It's not. It's just because I don't have this light on. So see, it would look like that. But I can't have it on. It goes off. It's staying on. I wonder. I have it plugged in. Let's see if it works. What's good? Yeah, it died. That's what I'm saying. It won't stay. It's dumb. I got my snack. We were watching from France. Nice.
Because you are guilty. Yes. And you understand that by pleading guilty, the state no longer has to prove those things because you're admitting those things are true. Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Law and Crime's live coverage of the sentencing hearing for Brian Kohberger. Today, the man who killed 4 University of Idaho students on November 13th, 2022, will officially be sentenced to life in prison as part of a plea deal. That plea deal took the death penalty off the table, so no firing squad, no lethal injection. We'll have live coverage for the next hour before the start of this hearing in Boise, Idaho at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, that's 11 a.m. Eastern. And we have
I lived right outside of Boise, so I lived in Meridian.
To help break down what we can expect. But first, I want to go live to Boise, outside the courthouse, and that's where we find our Anjanette Levy, the host of Crime Fix, here on Law and Crime. Anjanette, you have covered this case from the very beginning. I'm sure there's a lot of emotions for you today as well. There's so much interest in this
10 a.m.
hearing,
for me.
And what's going to happen inside the courthouse. What is the scene there this morning?
Right. Well, that's what he did to them. Her mic is quiet. I agree.
There is a great deal of interest in this case. People actually started lining up around 5 o'clock Mountain Time last evening, hoping to get one of those coveted seats inside the courtroom to watch Brian Kohberger be sentenced to those 4 consecutive life sentences. And there is no doubt that that will be the sentence that he receives. That is the sentence that's been agreed upon between both the defense and the prosecution in this case. Judge Hippler could give a lesser sentence. He is not going to do that. I'm going to tell you that right now. He will go along with those 4 consecutive life sentences. He cannot go above that, of course. And as you mentioned, the death penalty has been taken off the table in exchange for Brian Kohberger's guilty plea. And it's been somewhat controversial. A lot of people thought that the prosecution should not agree to this plea agreement. They thought that the case was strong enough that they should take it to trial and that Brian Kohberger would have likely been sentenced to death. So this has been controversial because this is such a brutal crime, and there's been so much heartache surrounding this crime. And the fact that these were 4 purely innocent, truly innocent victims killed as they were in their beds, just doing what college kids do after a night of partying.
That's fucking sad, bro.
It's been an emotional roller coaster for the families and for the people of the state of Idaho.
And I just think back, Anjanette, and I mean, you were there in Moscow when all of this happened, and the search that went on for weeks, looking for the person who would have done this, and then we learned about Brian Kohberger, and you think of the years it took to get to this point, and he will go to prison for the rest of his life. Today is going to be a very emotional day when you think of all of that, and you think of the opportunity that these families are going to have to address Brian Kohberger and then move on with their lives as he goes to prison, which is where he's going to die one day. What can we expect from this hearing today as it begins now less than an hour from now?
Well, I think you can expect a lot of emotional victim impact statements. The families, this is their chance to let Brian Koberger know the pain that he has caused them.
True.
And this is their chance to let the public know the pain that they have endured. And I think that it's important to reiterate and to let people know that that a lot of these families have been very quiet and they've grieved silently. Only recently have we heard from Maddie Mogan's mother in the Prime docuseries, where she poured her heart out about losing her one and only child. Maddie was her only daughter. So if she chooses to speak, we will hear the absolute just pain and horror that she has been through. Now, with that said, Brian Koberger, I can tell you, is somebody who does not show any emotion whatsoever. We have seen no emotion from him throughout these entire court proceedings. So this may have no impact on him whatsoever. And he is somebody who on social media as a teenager wrote about feeling nothing and being able to do things without feeling any remorse whatsoever. So this is somebody who may lack empathy and may lack the ability to feel emotions. So this is going to be for the families to share their grief, their loss, how the loss of their loved ones has impacted them. And it will be for the court to hear this, that what impact that has on Brian Koberger, it may have no impact on him. And
True.
he seemed very matter of fact when he entered those guilty pleas back in court on July 2nd. There was no hesitation, no emotion whatsoever. And his attorneys will say, well, that's because he has autism spectrum disorder. He's level 1 autism spectrum. But I'm not sure I believe that's the reason why. He's just not somebody who shows any emotion. And I do want to touch on one thing, Chris, that you mentioned about covering this in Moscow. I cannot overstate the fear, the absolute fear and terror that people...
When did we get the narrative that autistic people feel no emotion? When was that a thing now? They definitely do.
The soul of that city.
What the
People
fuck?
in that city were terrified. The students were terrified. They left the city. They chose to complete their courses at home. They went home to their parents and did their coursework, completed the semester online. That is how terrifying this was. This is a little college town that sees no crime. The biggest crime you see there is basically underage drinking on the college
Yeah.
campus. And somebody
Exactly.
into a house in the middle of the night and stabbed poor people, stole their lives. And it really robbed the city of Moscow of its innocence. And so there's a lot of healing that needs to begin, and hopefully that can begin today. Hopefully that's already begun.
Yeah, it's not like...
But now he will be put away for the
It's
rest
like
of his life, as you
people
mentioned.
who lack feeling emotion,
I
they're called
talked about how he
sociopaths
shows
and
no emotion. There's
psychopaths,
literally no emotion.
not
And we've seen none of it
autism.
from him
Like
throughout this proceeding.
that's not
Throughout the
autism. What the
throughout
fuck?
this whole process. So let's take a look back, if we will. When Brian Koberger entered those guilty pleas back on July 2nd, we were here for that. Everybody watched it here on Law and Crime. But let's watch as he enters those guilty pleas, and we can talk about it on the other side.
I would have loved to hear the doctors.
Lori, how do you plead Mr. Kohlberger guilty or not guilty?
Exactly.
As to count 2, murder in the first degree, as it relates to the murder of Madison Mogan, how do you plead guilty or not guilty? As to count 3, as it relates to murder in the first degree for the murder of Kaylee Gonzalez, how do you plead guilty or not guilty? As to count 4, the first degree murder of Xana Kernodle, human being, how do you plead guilty or not guilty? Guilty. As to count 5, first degree murder of Ethan Chapin, human being, how do you plead guilty or not guilty? Guilty. Before I start asking you questions today, have you consumed substance questions? Let me ask you, have you consumed any alcohol, drug, or other intoxicating substance that would impair your ability to understand or exercise reasonable judgment?
No.
You feel like you are thinking clearly today?
Yes.
The plea agreement that I talked about today, do you agree with that plea agreement?
Yes.
And do you understand the nature of the charges that you've been
This
charged
is the
with?
most we've heard him
That I
talk.
understand you're going to plead guilty today to.
Yes.
As I indicated, I'm not bound by the plea agreement, but the plea agreement is for the maximum on each count. Do you understand that I'm not bound by the plea agreement?
Yes.
Has anyone promised you that I would be lenient or easy on you if you pled guilty?
No.
Has anyone threatened you or anyone close to you to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Has anyone other than the state's agreements with respect to the plea agreement, has anyone promised you anything in exchange for your plea agreement?
No.
Has anyone told you to be untruthful in answering my questions today?
No.
Has anyone offered you a reward of any kind other than the plea agreement in order to get you to plead guilty today?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
And counsel, obviously there have been a number of motions filed to suppress evidence in this case. Other
He's
than
insane.
those filed, are there any other motions that you felt were available with respect to Rule 12? Mr. Koberg, you understand that by entering the guilty plea in this case, you would be giving up your right to appeal any decision this court made, as well as your sentence.
Yes.
So, as you heard, Judge Hippler was asking if Brian Koberger was basically on board with entering into this plea agreement. And you heard that was a very matter-of-fact back and forth conversation. No emotion, as I mentioned earlier. Now, one of the things that the family members, or some of the family members, particularly the Gonsalves family, has had an issue with in this case is the fact that Brian Koberger wasn't forced to allocute publicly. He wasn't forced to offer a detailed confession about these crimes, why he committed these murders, the location of the murder weapon. Whether or not that happened behind closed doors, we really don't know. But that is one thing that has really upset a lot of people in this case. Even President Trump weighed in on this on Truth Social the other day, saying he believes that Judge Hippler should ask Brian Koberger about this. Of course, Brian Koberger has a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. He doesn't have to say anything. But this is the course the state of Idaho has taken in this case, and this is where we are. That's where we are in this case. We may learn more details about this crime today. It's very possible that the prosecution may offer more details in a presentation about why these crimes were committed. We don't know, or their theory of the crime. They didn't need to do that at the plea hearing, but this is a sentencing hearing now, so we'll stay tuned for that. I want to bring up in our panel, we have a really great panel joining us today to discuss what we can expect from this sentencing hearing. Jennifer Auger is a defense attorney. She represented Richard Allen in the Delphi murders case. Mark Weaver is a special prosecutor. He is based in Ohio and has handled many death penalty cases. And Bobby Chacon, he is a retired FBI agent and an attorney and has covered this case with me from the very beginning. But Jennifer, I'll start with you first off the bat. As a defense attorney, what is a day like this like for you when you're representing a defendant who has pleaded guilty and admitted to heinous crimes, and you are going to sit in that courtroom and sit next to your client who you know is going to prison for the rest of his natural life, and you're going to listen to these victim impact statements?
Sure, that's a really, really hard day. As defense lawyers, we're still humans, and listening to those victim impact statements, it's really difficult. But you're there for your client. You're there to make sure that everything is fair and unbiased, even though it never feels like it's unbiased. But if you don't have those attorneys there, if they're not there, sitting next to their client, and that's our job, is to advocate for our client. But those are really hard emotional days.
Yeah, it's expected to be such an emotional day today, inside of such an emotional day inside of this courtroom. And I think about
I could never be a
just
defense
watching
attorney.
that clip that Anjanette played of the moment that Brian Koberger just said yes, 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 kind of answering one after another. Mark, I'm going to bring you in on this. We are starting to get some questions in our chat, which I really appreciate from our viewers. Make sure you drop your questions in the chat. We'll bring them to our panel, as well as Anjanette, who is live in Boise outside the courthouse. A question coming in here from Shasta Lance. Mark, she asks, can he still take back his guilty plea?
That guilty plea to be taken back after the judge has had what's called the colloquy. That's the back and forth between the judge and the defendant, asking all the questions we heard. But we have seen motions post colloquy where a defendant asks to have the guilty plea taken back. They have to make a significant showing. There has to be some underlying basis. I was on drugs. I was drunk. My lawyers lied to me. You have to have a very strong reason for a judge to undo a guilty sentence once the colloquy has been pronounced. I doubt it happens here, but occasionally you'll see it happen.
And Bobby, turning to you, I think about the emotion in the room today. One of our first polls that's up, by the way, so people who are joining us, weigh in on this. We want to hear what you have to think of. What sentence outcome do you think is most appropriate? Which is going to be a big question throughout the day. But I think of the emotion that is going to be in that room, Bobby. I think of Steve Gonsalves, who has been very outspoken with his anger over this plea deal and what he might say when he gets the opportunity to address Brian Koberger. In these types of situations, what is someone allowed to say in these moments as a victim in the victim impact statement?
Whatever.
Emotions and statements. I mean, they can't get too far afield, but they have the right to say, just as it's called a victim impact statement, how this crime has impacted their lives. So they can go into all of that emotional damage that has been caused, and a lifetime of suffering that they will endure now because of these crimes he's committed. So they are allowed to go into.
He's got crazy eyes.
The impact that this will have on their lives, what it's had on their lives to date, and certainly what it will be like in their lives in the future. And not only for them, but their families and their friends and things like that. So they are usually given a wide latitude of the amount of things that they can describe, because the judges realized kind of this is their one chance to be face to face with this monster that did this horrific thing to their loved ones. And so I think that I think lets the judges give them, a wide latitude. And you're going to hear a lot of different things. And most of it's going to be, the horrific aftermath, of the lives torn apart. Obviously, the lives of the victims, but, the families of victims as well. And these people have an extensive family and friend network, this whole college. And as Anjanette said earlier, this whole community will be suffering for generations. This is a generational crime. People 30, 40 years from now will be still talking about this crime.
Yeah, and to Anjanette's point, kind of like the innocence of Moscow, Idaho was lost on that day, and you think of what these families have been going through now for multiple years since 2022. Getting a question here in our chat. This is for the panel. Jennifer, I'll start with you with this question from Brett Losa. What does the panel think? His autism diagnosis points to maybe he got hyper fixated on this crime and he just could not stop. What do you think when you look at this, that autism diagnosis the defense says he has, what role that played in this crime?
I don't know if I'm qualified to answer about how his autism diagnosis fits in with the crime. Certainly, the courts in sentencing can take mental health issues into account. But, really, unless it impacts his ability to
You're born with autism.
Wrong,
it's not mental health.
An impact it would be and have.
Autism is a genetic disorder. It's not mental health.
For young people.
What the
who've
fuck?
been murdered.
It affects your mental, but it's
But
not
certainly
like
it goes
it's not like
into
depression.
probably his lack of emotion that he shows.
These fucking people.
And
And I'm
so
not a
to the
doctor. I'm
extent
not a
that
professional.
that might be confused with a lack of remorse. We don't really know. He hasn't said much yet.
I just know people
But I
with
don't know
autism.
that would have a big impact, if at all, on sentencing.
I think we're going to go out to Anjanette with the next one. Anjanette, you got me?
You know, Jennifer, I'm really interested in your perspective on this because Ann Taylor and her team, they've been representing somebody who really, you know, has become public enemy number one. He is somebody who does have some support online. He does have a group of supporters. They call themselves, or at least I guess people who believe he's guilty call them the pro burgers. But he is somebody who really is a pariah in the United States. I mean, people wanted him to face the firing squad here in Idaho. And so that's got to be a challenge as a defense attorney. But really, Ann Taylor
I'm
is
still here.
her whole
Sorry.
job here, her whole mission from the beginning was to save his life and to get the death penalty taken off the table. She filed motion after motion trying to get the death penalty taken off the table. So she accomplished that mission. How big of a struggle is that, having a case that's in the public spotlight? You just came off of a case that was in the public spotlight, the Delphi case. How big of a challenge is that, defending your client when you've got, you know, the eyes of the world on your case?
Well, it definitely adds many layers of stress, if you will, to have that kind of notoriety. Not only just and it makes it harder, right? It makes harder
Hang on, guys.
to have. And at the end of the day, you know, and I don't know Idaho, but here in Indiana, we have elected judges. You have generally elected prosecutors who have to answer to people on election day. And so to have that kind of overall scrutiny certainly makes it so much harder to engage in those kinds of
I agree. There's so many YouTubers even that support him.
Because of that level of scrutiny, I guess.
YouTubers.
And Jennifer, there's a big question today about. Oh, go ahead, Anjanette.
Well, yeah, I was going to say there's been a tremendous level of scrutiny on this case. I mean, everything has been scrutinized when it comes to this case. Were you surprised to learn that the state settled this case and agreed to the terms of this plea agreement, taking the death penalty off the table?
Well, look, I would never question victims' families in their reactions at all. You know, they are absolutely entitled to that. But if you look at this, you know, a plea deal to take the death penalty off the table makes some inherent sense in that, number one, there are always risks at trial. We, as
You could have got away for
I
free.
can't imagine an attorney who hasn't won a case that they should have lost, or who hasn't lost a case they feel they should have won. So there are always risks at trial, and so a plea takes all those risks off the table. Had there been a trial, it would have been a lengthy, incredibly emotional trial, and the appeal process after a trial, there's absolutely going to be an appeal process after a trial. It's so incredibly much more difficult to appeal a conviction to which you pled guilty. You know, they referenced earlier, you have to show that the plea was not knowing or voluntary, and that's really difficult to do. So it gives a level of certainty, a huge level of certainty on what's going to happen here. It ends it, right? You don't have years of
Look at my cute little bunny step.
trial.
Or
and,
bear.
you know,
Sorry,
you've
it's
got
a
an
bear, not a
outcome,
bunny.
and different people, depending on their morals
I know
and
you're the only
values
one
and
in here,
viewpoints, look
so.
at it differently. There are some people who certainly say that life in prison is a better or worse outcome, if you will, than a death penalty. You know, you're spending every day of the rest of your life in prison with little, if any, hope that you're ever going to leave.
No, and that's such a good point, because I do think of, even for those who were frustrated by the plea deal, again, the Gonsalves family's been very vocal. I mean, decades from now, as everybody moves on with their lives to the best that they can, Brian Kohberger will still be waking up in that prison, in a box, and living that life for the rest of his life because of what he did. Jennifer, there's a big question today of whether or not Brian Kohberger may say something. I feel like I've read a lot of people saying that he probably won't, but what would be your advice? What do you tell Brian Kohberger? Do you think that we could hear him actually speak to that?
That's going to vary with every case. You know, it would be perhaps good if he gave an explanation. It might make the judge, you know, appreciate the fact that he's given these victims, their families, some answers. On the other hand, if you have a client with some type of mental disability, autism spectrum 1, and I'm not an autism spectrum, I don't know what all that entails, but if he's going to say these things without emotion, maybe that makes it worse. I would never second guess an attorney who's in the trenches, who's looked at 51 terabytes of information, who spent so much time with Brian Kohberger. But, you know, there would be pros and cons depending on those kinds of facts.
And you're taking a live look here. I know, Anjanette, this is out where you are right now. This is the Gonsalves family. You see Steve, her dad, the father of Kaylee Gonsalves, walking in to the Ada County Courthouse.
I lived in Ada County.
He has been so vocal throughout this, calling for justice, and also has been very critical of the prosecutor, Bill Thompson, and the decision to go forward with this plea deal. He wanted to see a trial. He wanted to see, if found guilty, the death penalty for Brian Kohberger. And so he is going to be someone, there will be a lot of eyes on what he has to say when he gets his opportunity to address his daughter's killer today in court.
Can you imagine
really
addressing
appreciate coming in on the chat.
your
We also have
kid's
the results of
killer?
our first poll. Thank you to 4,500 of you who were able to weigh in on this. We asked, what sentence outcome do you think is most appropriate? The death penalty, 59%, life without parole, 37%, and long-term imprisonment with parole coming in at 2%. Jennifer, question for you. This was from Leah. If a defense lawyer truly believes their client is guilty, can they step down from the case?
You have an ethical obligation to zealously represent your client. And, you know that going in. You know what the allegations are. You know what the potential consequences are. And it would be, but if there's a time where you feel that you cannot zealously represent your client, you have an ethical obligation to get out. But you really should have asked those questions well ahead of time, prior to sentencing. That's what we do, is we represent, most of the people we represent are guilty, but they still deserve a fair trial, and they still deserve to have representation, and good representation.
You know, Jen, I'm sitting out here watching the Gonsalves family walk into this courtroom and walk into this courthouse. This has been a long road for these families. It's been horrific, and they've all been through so much, and they are going to come in here. This is their final chance to tell the court and tell Brian Kohberger what this crime has done to them, how it's torn them apart. How do you counsel a defendant to listen to this, to deal with this? Obviously, you counsel your client to act a certain way in court, to not engage with the family members, to not look at them. How do you counsel a defendant to go through this process?
you acknowledge that it's going to be incredibly hard, and to do your best, again, not to engage with the people who are speaking. You know, this is where you are, and to the extent you can sit there and listen, and without, you know, emotion, without any of that. That's always, you know, that's going to be the better advice. Or, you know, if you have regret, remorse, certainly, you know, that's something good to show. But it's like you said, you know, don't engage, and you just have to sit and listen, and it's incredibly hard.
And Jen, there have been a lot of questions about Brian Koberger's ability to appeal, even though he has waived his appeals as part of this plea agreement. And we have a question from one of our viewers, Falcon Soar, who's asking, do you think that Brian Koberger will appeal? Because there is the case here in Idaho, Garza v. Idaho, that says if you don't, even if you've waived your appeals and your client says, hey, I've been sentenced, I want to appeal, and you don't appeal, you're then determined to be ineffective. Do you think he will appeal?
I don't know. You know, if the judge gives him 4 consecutive life sentences, and I apologize, I'm not familiar with Idaho law. If you appeal a sentence in Indiana, they can come back and resentence you. So you could be resentenced to a harsher penalty. If that is the case in Iowa, that would be, you know, a strong reason not to appeal. But if the judge can't do that, if that's off the table and you're sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, most certainly.
Hi, what's
what
up?
do you have to lose? He has nothing to lose at this point, because from here he will be going to the Idaho Department of Corrections, and that will be his home for the foreseeable future unless they decide to transfer him out of state because of possible threats to his safety. Jennifer Auger, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to sign you off. Have really enjoyed talking with you. Hope you'll come back some other time. Chris, I'll send it back to you for now.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Anjanette, thank you. Let's continue on with our panel. Also want to note that shortly we'll be joined by Dr. Dwayne Hendricks, retired senior warden with the U.S. Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Prisons. And we're going to be talking about the big question of what does Brian Koberger's life look like after today, or after the day after that. Once these victim impact statements are done, what happens next in determining where he will spend the rest of his life, and what will that day-to-day look like? Great guests going to be coming up with us shortly to talk about that. I want to bring in our other 2 members of the panel. I know you guys have been very patient, waiting for us to come to you. Bobby Chacon, retired FBI agent and attorney, and Mark Weaver, who's a special prosecutor and former deputy attorney general in the state of Ohio. Thank you both for being with us today. We talked a lot with Jennifer there, Mark, about what it's like to be on the defense side on a day like this. What is it going to be like for Bill Thompson, the prosecutor, to see all this play out, and what is he going to do in the courtroom today?
This is a difficult thing for him. Normally, as a prosecutor, before the sentencing, I'm meeting with the victims, or if it's a murder, the victim's family, to make sure that we're all together and that things they know. I want to explain to them what's going to happen, where they're going to sit. We typically have a victim's advocate who's escorting them to this thing. So we don't have that, at least for 2 of the families. The prosecutor won't be meeting with them because they disagree with this prosecutor's decision. So this is a little different. The prosecutor knows it's already been criticized by 2 of the families for having made this plea agreement. But normally it's a very somber time. In most cases, judges come into these sentencing hearings already deciding what they're going to do. In fact, they have pre-written exactly what they're going to say. Now, in some cases, maybe they left a blank where how many years are going to be penciled in, depending on what the victims say and the defendant says. But for the most part, judges know what they're going to do. So for me as a prosecutor, I know that this is the chance for the victims to be heard. Yes, the defendant has a right to be heard. I suspect this defendant, Brian Koberger, will not in fact say much. But the victims, this is their chance. So there have been some times when victims want me to speak for them, and I'll do that. Always I'll speak as the prosecutor, even when the sentence is guaranteed, just because I think the state's position needs to be heard. It's a somber time approaching a sentencing, particularly in a case where there's been people murdered.
It's going to be a very difficult day. Going to be difficult to watch. A lot of emotion throughout the day. Have a question coming in from Misty Barnhart. Will cameras be able to be allowed in the courtroom? We are going to be able to see the judge's live feed, which we will take live here on Law and Crime. So make sure you, after we finish here at the top of the hour, that is when this hearing is expected to begin, 9 a.m. Mountain Time in Boise. And we'll bring you those statements live. So stay right here on the stream. Also, question coming in, and Bobby, I'll turn to you. A question from 49ers Mama asks, will all the evidence be released now that he took a plea?
I don't know. I don't think so, but it could be. You know, they do have to maintain some security of the record because, like has been pointed out, he still does have an appeal possible. And now Garza really only in Idaho only really relates to an ineffective assistance of counsel argument, but that can be made. And people should know, like, if you can make an argument later that your lawyer tricked you into a plea or something, you should have the right to appeal that. You know, but that's a very high bar. Garza sets a very high bar for any appeal, but he's most likely not going to get an appeal. It's a very, very narrow ruling in that case. But I do think the prosecutor will at least offer to sit down with the families and have a
I think my
meeting
makeup
with
looks
the
super
prosecution
cute.
team and the investigative team and be told, you know, exactly what they think happened, you know, any kind of motive that they may have, and most of the evidence that they can share with them. I think at least that will be offered to the families should they want to do that. As far as releasing everything to the public, you know, that's going to be, you know, an internal decision by that office. I don't know the particular you know, rules that they have. I know in a serial killer case that I was involved in, the Israel Keys case, once he killed himself in jail, the FBI released all his interrogation tapes, and you can actually go to YouTube and see them because he was dead and there was nothing to be risked by releasing all of that stuff. So I don't know. It depends on the rules of the state and the policies of that office.
Because, Anjanette, we've had this gag order that's been in place, and I know in motions you've been able to find some information along the way, some of the evidence that prosecutors have on Brian Kohberger. There was that leak recently in the Dateline episode where we saw some of those selfies and
Good,
a little
Hillary.
bit more about what prosecutors would have had in a trial. After today or tomorrow, when this sentencing hearing wraps up, how is this gag order, which I know has been lifted, but what does the process look like moving forward in getting more of this evidence?
Well, the Moscow Police Department has actually said they will be setting up a website to release records because the department's been inundated with requests for records. We've requested the records many, many times, and those requests have all been denied due to that non-dissemination order. They don't like it when you call it a gag order. We've called it a gag order because essentially that's what it's done, but it also basically prohibited the release of any information about the case, any records about the case, even body camera footage that would normally be released was barred from release due to the non-dissemination order. So we don't know exactly when they will start releasing those records. There's a 42-day window or so for the appeal that we believe there's some type of appeal window that will run, and then possibly after that expires, we will start seeing the release of some of the records, and hopefully we will get the lion's share of the records, the investigative reports, the body camera footage, things of that nature. But things like autopsy reports, very gruesome crime scene photos, I'm not sure we will ever see those types of photos, and the judge may order that those be sealed.
Another result coming in from our poll, and we appreciate everybody who's logging on, watching with us here on YouTube live as we count down to the beginning of the sentencing hearing at the top of the hour. Poll question was, do you classify this plea deal as a win for the state of Idaho? No, 48%. It's complicated.
Wow, we still have 20
30%,
minutes of
and
listening
yes
to
at
this.
21%. Mark, you're a prosecutor, and there's been a lot of criticism of Bill Thompson, a lot of second guessing of this deal. Where do you stand on that question?
I'm an advocate for the death penalty. I've worked on death penalty cases, mostly on the appeal side, but also at the trial level. And people should remember that had the state moved forward with the death penalty, one juror out of 12 during the guilt phase saying not guilty means we go back to square one. And then on the penalty phase, one juror out of 12 means it's going to be life in prison, not death penalty. And if we'd gotten 12 on the first phase and then 12 on the second phase, now the appeals begin, and death penalty appeals go on for many years. Any thing, particularly if the judge could say, I don't like that trial was done. This one little part bothered me. And back down another trial, and those family back out.
Damn, his mic is cutting out really bad.
Could stop the case at either level. The prosecution has to weigh that against what the victims want.
My
That's what
back
happened in this
itches like
case.
a
That happened to me in the
motherfucker.
death penalty case I worked on.
I can't
2.5
reach
ago, we
it.
made that same decision. Now, in that case, the victims were in agreement with us, the victim's family, so we were willing to go forward with that. But remember, it's not easy to get the death penalty.
I think the
Even
makeup look
when
is cute
the evidence is
today.
clear, just one juror who has a disagreement is enough to stop the death penalty from going forward.
And Anjanette, I know you're going to have to go into the courthouse here shortly. We've been getting some good questions coming in, and what I was thinking about today, because Brian Koberger, he's been wearing civilian clothes when he goes into court and in these appearances. Is that what we're going to see today?
Absolutely not. He will be in a jail jumpsuit, and he will be wearing shackles, handcuffs. He may even have some type of other type of restraint on. But the only reason, and some of the families were very critical of this, particularly the Gonsalves family, was very critical of the fact that he was permitted to wear civilian clothes. But the only reason that happened was because there was a lot of media attention on this case, and he appeared in court, and cameras were allowed in the courtroom. And this is very common in high-profile cases. The defense attorneys will ask the judge to allow their client to appear in street clothes because they enjoy a presumption of innocence. And the jail jumpsuit can project an image of guilt. Psychologically, it can project this image to the public that, hey, this guy is in a jail jumpsuit, he's guilty. And so this is to preserve that right to a fair trial. And to not taint the jury pool. That's why these people are permitted to wear civilian clothes. And that's the only reason that it happened. So at the plea hearing, when Judge Hippler accepted Brian Koberger's guilty plea, he said that he was going to revoke that order, allowing Brian Koberger to wear civilian clothes. He said it was no longer necessary because he had pleaded guilty and he no longer enjoys the presumption of innocence. So today, we will see Brian Koberger in a jail jumpsuit and in restraints.
Yeah, well, and such a difference from the picture that we're looking at right here when he was in court and gave those chilling, just one-word answers to whether or not he committed these crimes, and no longer do we have to say alleged when talking about Brian Koberger. We say that he is a murderer of the 4 students at the University of Idaho back in November of 2022. Anjanette Levy, host of Crime Fix, here on Law and Crime. I know you're heading into the courthouse. Very interested to get your perspective after all of this and just how emotional today is going to be.
I will be in there right now. Our managing editor, Kathy Russin, she is in the courtroom as I speak, and I will be in there in a short time. So I will be back here in just a short while updating you on everything that we both see inside that courtroom. So Chris, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Anjanette Levy live in Boise. We'll bring back Mark Weaver and Bobby Chacon, who are continuing to answer your questions. So make sure you bring them in to us, drop them in the chat. We'll ask our experts as we continue on here ahead of the start of this hearing at the top of the hour. Just got an update from our managing editor, Kathy Russin, who says we're getting instructions from court personnel right now. They are not expecting this to go into tomorrow. So the question was going to be if this was going to be a 2-day event. But after today, it seems from what we're understanding that this will be it for Brian Koberger, and he will head off to prison for the rest of his life after today. Sarah C. asks the question, what time does court start? We are expecting at the top of the hour, 11 a.m. if you're on the East Coast, 9 a.m. Mountain Time in Boise. Bobby, I want to turn to you because I know you talked about you have worked on serial killer cases. Brian Kohberger's name, sadly, in some ways, will be remembered, you know, amongst other serial killers. And I know Anjanette was talking about people who were almost fans of his online. But when you look at this, not to compare, but when you look at what he did and in your career, what stands out to you when you look at Brian Kohberger and what he has admitted to doing?
Well, the viciousness of the attack stands out to me in that I've seen attacks just as vicious. But the first thing I thought when I heard about this case, you know, day one, was
Hey guys, I'm gonna hop
such
off
a
her right
vicious
now. I'll be back
attack
on here soon,
comes
okay?
from a
Alright,
very
bye.